I find that people who, I've known gals who've spent hours getting all dressed up and all fancy and spent money on clothes, and they primp in front of a mirror for hours. And then they go out to a place and then they'll sit there like this. And if someone comes up to them, they turn their head away. I know you've seen them everywhere. You see guys doing it and gals doing it. They'll kind of lean over in the corner by themselves. And what we tend to think is that they're not interested, particularly in us. They're not having any fun, or they look unfriendly. So the most important thing to remember here is that you have got to be willing to pay attention to the person you're interested in. Remember 5th grade parties when all the boys were on one side of the room and all the girls were on the other? That's what happens a lot of times. And boys are over here wishing the girls would come over to them, and the girls are over there wishing the boys would come over to them. So the first thing that I want to teach you is very obvious and very simple, but it's how to show attention to someone. And of course, it's to look at them. Give yourself permission to actually look at the person that you're interested in, instead of what a lot of us do. We look at the person we're not interested in and don't look at the person that we are interested in. Now, I know everybody does that, but nobody thinks anybody else does it but themselves. If you're a little shy, wonderful. I love shyness. I think nervousness works beautifully when you're flirting, particularly a blush. So if you're shy, actually be shy. If you want to look at someone, look at them and then look down a little bit and look back up. Or look at them and look away and then look back. Or turn your head to the side and look. Now, these are very simple moves. Nothing's happening, or is it? You can tell just by the way that I look. If I tilt my head, if I wink. Most of what I'm doing is eye movements and a little bit with my head. I haven't really changed the position of my body at all. We'll get to that later on. So this is what I'd like you to do right now, just for practice. Everybody is looking straight ahead. I just want you to take your eyes and look over to the side. Now, don't move your head. Just look off to the side. Look over here, just off to the side. And look back and pay attention to what happens inside. Your feelings change, don't they? Just a little sideways glance. It's a wonderful way to flirt with somebody. Just keep glancing over that way. Now, for those of you guys who are sitting next to guys, and those of you gals who are sitting next to gals, that's the first mistake you made. Whenever you go into a meeting room where you'll be sitting in one chair most of the time, make sure that you sit next to someone that you want to get to know. We'll make it a lot easier. You have a whole lot of seats to choose from. So pick one next to someone that you're interested in. Okay, so now I want you to turn around. Look with your head. Don't move your body, just turn your head. Now, if the person's turning their head the other way, wait, of course, till they come back and then look at them. And then just nod. A lot of people are nervous about smiling, and a lot of people smile when they get nervous. But the nod works really well. It's acknowledgement. You have got to be willing to pay attention to the person you're interested in. Otherwise, you look aloof and disinterested, and the other person feels rejected. The easiest thing that I found to tell shy people was that if you treat everybody in the room as if they are more shy than you are. So do that now. Just pretend that everyone in this room is 10 times more shy than you ever were. And your job is to make them feel comfortable and important.
That flirting is something that everybody's entitled to do. It's just for fun. Can lead to all kinds of things, but if you never get a chance to meet enough people, you'll never really know who you like. I know so many guys and so many women that end up with absolutely the wrong person. I have a friend that I've had for years. He's been married 3 times to the same woman, only in a different body. And each time it was the wrong choice. And she even looks so much like well, they look so much like each other. I've called the second 2 wives by the first wife's name repeatedly.
A lot of times people do this, will say, well, that's the only person that I ever meet. And what actually happens is those are the only type of people that ever come over to meet them.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're one of these people who sits down and responds only to the people who come over and introduce themselves to you, I want you to do exactly the opposite. I want you to be the one that goes over and introduces yourself, because it will open up a whole different range.
And if any of you have fantasies that about, especially I know a lot of women have a thing that they think men don't like women to do that. You're wrong.
Yes, I've asked.
Flat ass wrong.
Right.
I've asked thousands and thousands of people. And the thing is that, you know, guys are good at a lot of things. Going first is not one of them.
Right.
We can change that, though.
In fact, 40% of American adults are shy, and the majority of that 40% are guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I've asked over and over again in seminars, how many of you guys in this room don't want a woman to come over to you? Once again.
So far, we've only had one guy.
Right. One guy, and he said that he used to not like it, but he's changed his mind.
So it must have been something he was said too. Anyway, go ahead, run through the exercise, and have fun. Okay? And this shouldn't take you very long, so take about 10 minutes apiece. Okay?